Okay, yeah. Okay, we are live. We are live. We are live. We're live. We're live. We are live. We're live. Sorry about the delay there, guys. Hey, it's Old Man G here, back again. I'm joined with LB and Shawnee for the Red Devil Studio Live podcast. And we're basically going to be doing a brief or not brief, depending on obviously how many get involved. Season review for the major leagues, and that's including the Premier League, the Liga, the Bundesliga, and the Serie A, as well as the Champions League preview. So first of all, how is everyone doing? Is everyone doing okay?
Great, Bo.
Yeah, getting through the tough times, but I guess we've all sort of been there and done that this year at some stage.
Absolutely, after hearing stuff of a second wave. I mean, what I would say for this whole thing is that it's a shout out to United Fan Army. I would try and get you on KSI into the on Discord in a second. We just need to just wait for a bit. And Hala Madrid, thank you. I know you're waiting for this stream, so really appreciate it. We are going to be talking about Real Madrid, but and the La Liga. We're just going to briefly just dip into the Premier League at this moment in time. But thank you very much for joining the stream. Really appreciate it. So yeah, let's just basically just get straight into it. I thought it'd be best to start obviously with Shawnee, because obviously Liverpool won the Premier League, and Liverpool Premier League champions. Deservedly so. Obviously, they won the league by quite a distance. 99 points finished the end. It just passing, missing out on the Centurion mark. So, as a Liverpool fan, I guess starting with how you felt the season has been, but also just how you feel the Premier League season of teams has been. What are your thoughts?
It's definitely a lot easier than what I thought how it was going to go. Like, I didn't envision City dropping so many points, especially after the season that they had previously, where they barely dropped any points. So I wasn't expecting that. At the same time, I knew that company was going to be a massive miss for them. I just didn't think it was going to be as brutal on them as what it was. So I really enjoyed the run that Liverpool went on. I mean, we broke so many records, and you could really tell throughout the season how people held Liverpool at such a high standard. The standard that they held Liverpool at was that they were going to break all the records. Man United fans were obviously fearing that we were going to win the treble. The team here, so the team that we have right now is being held not just by Liverpool, but also by everybody else in the world at a really, really premium standard. So I'd imagine, hopefully, this whole coronavirus didn't affect Liverpool too much, and that we can, with retaining the Premier League title, we can actually spend a little bit of money on just strengthening the squad a little bit. So we can go again. Next season. But I feel that the season generally played out. I guess bar Man United getting into the Champions League. I think it played out kind of similar from what I had in mind, kind of what I predicted at the beginning. When we made the predictions at the beginning, it doesn't look much different from that. I think the two surprise teams were maybe Wolves and Sheffield, but yeah, apart from those two teams, everything was fairly standard. Maybe even Leicester doing so well as well. I mean, in the end, they lost out on the Champions League spot, but overall, I think they had a fairly decent season. I think Leicester fans would be really unhappy that they missed out on the Champions League spot, but at the same time, I don't think they were anticipating doing this well, challenging Man City for second spot at one stage, which is testament to what I said earlier about Man City. Let's face it, they came second, but that's a bad season for them, really.
So obviously I've got the Premier League table up, and if you obviously look at the position, obviously Liverpool top, City, United, Chelsea. And then you're obviously just scrolling further down, your Leicester City, Spurs, Wolves, Arsenal, Sheffield, Burnley, Southampton, etc. on the way down. Is there anything in that table or that list that you feel actually sort of surprised you? Like, I'm talking about the whole entire Premier League here. Which teams sort of like do you feel in this table surpassed expectations, then ones that met expectations, and then ones that you think that like failed expectations?
Yeah, like I say, I think the two that stood out for me were maybe Wolves and Sheffield. They're maybe the two that kind of stood out for me. The rest look, kind of okay. I think Arsenal would be disappointed where they ended up. I don't think eighth place is good enough for a club as big as Arsenal. So maybe they're the surprises. I kind of was hoping Brighton would go down again. They managed to string some results together, and they managed to stay up. But I'm not a Brighton fan at all. Coming there, yeah. So I was kind of hoping that, yeah. But apart from that, like everything in the table that it kind of it's standard. I said that I made the call that Liverpool would win it this year, but I just didn't think that it was going to be as convincing. So maybe that's a surprise that we won it so convincingly. Obviously, being so far ahead, and City would look at that as a really, really bad season. Wolves and Sheffield doing so well, but Arsenal also doing quite badly. They're going to be a force. I think next season they'll be higher than where they are now. I think with Arteta in.
Okay, fair enough. LB, what are your thoughts on the? I'll probably ask the same question. I think that's easiest. So, what are the teams do you think? Obviously, because Sean's already touched on Liverpool. What do you think are the teams that you'd say that have surpassed expectations? So that's question one. Two, met expectations, and then three, the last question, failed expectations. And shout out to Rasmus saying is our member. Thank you very much, Rasmus. Thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Go on, LB.
I think the teams that were below par this season, I mean, if you sort of take into account last season and how Tottenham made, the Champions League final, I reckon they would have been immensely disappointed for not qualifying for next season's Champions League. Obviously, sixth spot doesn't give you qualification into the tournament next season. So I think at least they would have wanted to get for the spot, especially after all the success in making the final last season. Yes, it was a dead rubber game. It was a very boring game. And some may have thought that Tottenham exceeded expectations and overachieved last season, but at the end of the day, they made the final, and they would have had expectations to do well in the season, and of course making next season's Champions League. But obviously, that's not going to happen now. But in terms of teams that exceeded expectations, like what Shawnee was saying, I'd definitely say Wolves. Even though they didn't make it into the top four, I reckon there's a lot of sort of excitement that they can have going into the future in terms of what they were able to achieve this season and what they could possibly achieve in future seasons ahead. The teams that so the third question, Red Devil, that was the teams that performed to expectation.
Yeah, so the three things were one, before that, above expectations, met expectations, and then below expectations. Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of the teams that met expectations, I'd definitely say Liverpool and Man City. Liverpool, because obviously the success in last season's Champions League, having won the Champions League, and all the talk from the Liverpool supporters, and I'm sure Shawnee can vouch for me. Champions League was a fantastic achievement, but what they wanted was the Premier League. Unfortunately, they weren't able to achieve the Premier League last season, but this season they've been able to really sort of prioritise in a way the Premier League, and as a result, it was a clean sweep, and we knew that Liverpool were going to win even before the pandemic. And so I'd definitely say that Liverpool performed to my expectations, and it didn't really surprise me that they won this season the first time in 30 years. So congratulations to Liverpool supporters, Shawnee and Liverpool. So
yeah, thank you, bro.
I think you guys will have quite a bit of success in the future seasons to come with the squad and the coaching Jurgen Klopp that you have.
Okay, fair enough. I can't remember. Did you, LB? Did you specifically mention a team that you feel that did or were below expectations? Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, I started off by mentioning Tottenham.
Okay, fine. Okay, cool. Okay, nice. But But before I get KSI on, who's sort of wanting me to get him on, let me just quickly get my thoughts on. So obviously, as a United fan, it pains me to say that Liverpool win the title, but I think if you're a Liverpool fan, getting the title was just a must in the first place. So I think from that sort of point of view, they met their expectations, and beyond expectations, given how they won that. But to be honest, I think Liverpool Football Club and possibly maybe Sheffield United are probably the only teams in the league that I would say, you know, met their expectations. I don't think Sheffield United just got promoted in the previous season, felt they're going to be at this part of the table. So I think that they obviously exceeded their expectations more than they thought they did. However, looking at some of the other, if we're talking about meeting expectations, possibly Wolves. I don't think Wolves. I think it would have been above expectations if they got the Champions League. So I think where they are is I think it's quite a. But likewise, with most of the mid-table teams like Burnley, Southampton, Everton, Newcastle, Palace, I think that they kind of met expectations of survival and then some. But I think for me, the big Manchester United, you could also possibly also put in there, because I don't think anyone really expected Manchester United to win the league. I think United expected to get them back into the top four, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did that. Likewise with possibly Chelsea as well. So maybe those two teams you could also argue met. I think if we're looking at teams that did not, I think Manchester City's got to be up there. Definitely. I think predominantly just because I don't think that they made this as competitive like at all. I just don't think that they thought they were going to be that far behind Liverpool so early on in the season. So I thought they'll be a lot closer and they weren't. Spurs, like LB has already said, I think Spurs would have been around. I think even going back to the prediction, and actually before the next season starts, I'm going to be clipping the previous Premier League predictions that we did in our first two episodes and react to that. So because I know a lot of people in that first two episodes of the podcast, you can go back and watch it on the show. But a lot of people said that Spurs were going to be in the top four, and obviously they weren't. Leicester City. I don't think anyone said Leicester City were going to be in the top four beforehand. But I think the thing is that because of how good their season was, I think that they themselves would think they let themselves down just because of the fact that they threw it away. Not necessarily that they, I guess, expected that they were going to be really, really, good. And then lastly, because I'm rambling on, Arsenal Football Club. Arsenal, I would also possibly add in West Ham as well to this. I think Arsenal Football Club, Arsenal, Everton, and West Ham are the three teams that I think, if you ask them, I don't think Arsenal thought they were going to be eighth in probably one of their worst seasons in quite some time. Everton, despite all the money they've spent, still effectively a mid-table side, and West Ham, again, money spent, quality come in, fighting relegation to the last day, So I think I don't know if people agree, but I think that those teams obviously met would have been, I think, struggled, if I'm perfectly honest. What do you guys think?
Yeah, quite similar to you, Red Devil. I think, the Wolves. Personally, I didn't really know much about the club as a whole prior to this season, but I think 7th spot is still an enormous achievement for them. In terms of Arsenal, like what Shawnee was saying, a club like Arsenal, I'm sure they would have had expectations to at least get 4th spot this season. At least they've got the FA Cup. But yeah, the standout for me that has definitely played to expectation is Liverpool.
Fair enough. I'm just waiting to get KSI on. What's he saying? Yeah, okay. Well, let's see. Right, okay. KSI, can you hear me?
Hello.
Yep, we can hear you.
Can you hear me, Mr. G?
We can hear you, buddy. We can hear you, buddy.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so Premier League. So I'll ask the same questions I've asked everybody in terms of the Premier League. So teams that you feel have obviously exceeded expectations, and then second met expectations, and then third below expectations. So start with exceeded expectations, and then go on.
But then Liverpool have exceeded expectations.
Okay.
Because they won the league. They've not won it for 30 years, and it's a very big achievement for them. Chelsea, I think, have exceeded expectations because at the start of the season I put them 8th position.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Chelsea actually played. I think Chelsea, for me, I don't know if you know the stat. Chelsea created the most chances with Man City in the Premier League this season.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that Chelsea as well. I think that Arsenal have also exceeded expectations for a mid-table club. That they are.
Of course.
But yeah, I think that Arsenal as well. Yeah. Also, I think. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. So I probably put and Sheffield United. That's the club that I put exceeded expectations. What's the second one, G?
So, Matt, sorry, just before I ask you, Rasmus A sort of says quality of squad of Man City wasn't 18 points behind the quality of Liverpool. Squad I'm a Man City failed to meet expectations. And then Rasmus A, Hala Madrid says, for me, Man City have the best squad in Europe. And Rasmus A again says Sheffield United were tipped to get relegated by most people, so they definitely exceeded expectations, which I agree with.
I mean, people put respect on Wilder's name, really, because let's be honest, he has shit players. It's basically a tactical job he's really done, if we're really being honest. But yeah.
So the next question was met expectations.
Okay. Manchester United, obviously. Top 4 was our aim. We got 3rd, Liverpool more, but I wouldn't say top 4 is exceeding expectations. Like winning the title is exceeding expectations. But I think United. I also say Wolves.
Okay, yeah.
Because I put Wolves in the top 4 at the start of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we were going to get top 4. As you know, other podcasters were saying that Wolves, last season, I think it was when they bet Arsenal, they were saying that Wolves, I personally thought last season Wolves the squad is actually better than, the first team squad is better than Arsenal's.
Okay.
I think the first team squad is probably better than, I wouldn't say Tottenham, because Tottenham's squad is the attack is lit. Midfield is very good, talented-wise. Just consistency they need. But Wolves is another team. I also put Newcastle because they would tip to get relegated. But to be fair, they're really just a one-man team, Newcastle, really, with Alan Saint-Maximin. He's such a great player. I think he's just carried them.
He's been very good this season, I agree.
Player.
Very good,
I followed him a little bit at Nice, like 2-5 games. I had a little bit of a scout of him. He's a very good player. I think he's a top-class player. But Newcastle, I think, is another team. I can't think of any other teams that met expectations.
Okay. Right, then move on. Then you can the teams that you feel that have not well below expectations. Well below expectations.
Tottenham, they were get Champions League. I thought they were going to get. I thought they weren't going to get Champions League, but Tottenham would probably be a club. Manchester City. If Pep Guardiola wasn't the best manager in the world, I think Pep Guardiola would probably be sacked now. Well, he's not the best manager in the world. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the best manager in the world. He is. Well, in the next coming years. But Klopp, because he's the best manager in the world. But I think if Pep wasn't up there, he'd probably get sacked by Manchester City. What else?
Okay, round it up. Just go on. Just wanted to move on.
I think Watford have failed with their squad. I thought their squad was pretty decent. I thought Watford were going to get 15th or something, because they got relegated. So Watford is another club. These are all the banter clubs that I think, even Arsenal as well, really. I'm being not, sarcastic and all that. I think Arsenal, let's be honest. But, they're going to be celebrating the FA Cup. The FA Cup doesn't even matter. In my lifetime, the FA Cup does not matter. Maybe in Old Man G, LB, Shawnee, their lifetime, it matters. But not for my lifetime. I don't think, personally, the FA Cup matters. I think the Champions League, Europa League, World Cup, Premier League, those are things that matter. So, yeah, that's my opinion, right? Even the Carabao Cup matters more than the FA Cup, more prestige right now. That's what I think.
Fair enough. Jan Van, can you hear me? Jan Van? Can you hear me? Your mic's on. You working? No, okay, can't hear me. Okay, that's fine. I'll get him back on though. So just quickly, sort of moving on. Thanks also for that, Kirsten. Thanks for that. Just a few quick questions before we move on to La Liga. Rasmus A says, Ole versus Lampard, who has had the better season?
The only reason why I'd say that the deciding factor there is they did the same in the Premiership. Obviously, United going one place above Chelsea, but Chelsea got into that FA Cup final. And I'm not quite on the same page as KSI, but I would say that the FA Cup has lost a little bit of its appeal in recent years, where the Carabao Cup, gets you into Europe, that kind of thing. There's more of a reward to it rather than the FA Cup. The FA Cup used to be the cup that you wanted to win. So saying that Lampard, they, even though they lost it, they still made it to the final and secured the Champions League spot. So I would say that very, very close, but Lampard maybe just about pipped it. And yeah, it would. Another good question would be Ole versus Lampard in the transfer market, because they're doing a lot right now.
Yeah. KSI saying Sancho. I can hear him. John Nazi says Spurs to struggle next season, and Rasmus A says Ole finishing above Lampard goal is not enough to say he had a better season. Before we get into it, Jonathan, what are your thoughts on the on the Premier League season as a whole? Teams that met expectations, exceeded, and well below.
It was a great thing.
Ooh, can you hear me?
Huh?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go for it.
Central Deal is a grade. What's that? Central Deal. Central Deal is a grade. Central Deal.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the Champions deal. Yeah.
I think he's talking to somebody else. I don't
Oh,
think.
right, okay. Fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Cool. Sorry about that, John. Just let me know when you're free to talk. That's fine. Hala Madrid says Jose not 5 EPL manager, IMO. Fair enough. Liverpool for third next season. Sean from the United man, from Shane. Shane, good to see you in the chat. So Liverpool for third next season. Sean.
Get the hell out of here, Shane.
We certainly need to have you back on, Shane, because the banter we should have a Shane and Sean show. A Shane and Sean, the buddy cop show. I think it'd be really, really cool. Right. Okay. Cool. Okay. Yeah. So let's quickly move on. The Iceman says, "Heard it here first." Well, we will do a show about future predictions. We will certainly do a show about future predictions. So let's quickly move on. Jonathan can message me in the private chat when he wants to have his say. Let's look at the Liga. Now, obviously, it was Real Madrid that won the Liga this season. It was a lot closer than the Premier League. I think Real Madrid won it by about 5 points. And I will get the table up just so everyone can see. 2 seconds here. So here's obviously the Spanish Liga table. Now I admit that so many people, don't know every single team in a Liga, but let's focus at least on the main teams. So again, going back to the same questions, teams that you feel that met expectations, exceeded, and so on, starting with LB, who performed above expectations and so on.
Look, to be honest, at the start of the season and during stages throughout the season itself, I always thought that Real Madrid were a team that was rebuilding, a team that would struggle this season. Obviously, having won 3 Champions Leagues in a row of the last 5 years, at least 1 or 2 La Liga titles, if I'm correct, they've definitely had a lot of success. And with Ronaldo leaving last season and Zidane leaving and a lot of sort of changes in personnel to the squad, I thought they would actually struggle this season. But to actually come out and, as you said, Red Devils, a very sort of tight finish in the end, and because Barcelona, if I'm correct, were on the top of the ladder when we continued the season, or when the season resumed, and to actually overtake them and win the league itself, I think is an enormous achievement. And technically, even though they are trailing City, they are still in the Champions League. So I think it's an enormous achievement for Real Madrid, given that, in my opinion, they are rebuilding with the squad and with the players. So Real Madrid, for me, is a team that has exceeded expectations this season. A team that has played to a level in which I think I sort of anticipated at the beginning of the season. I would say, look, to be honest, I'd probably say Atletico Madrid. A team that has always sort of trailed Barcelona and Real Madrid due to a number of reasons: financial, the quality of players, with all due respect, of course. And to get third spot, I think, is still an enormous achievement for Atletico, considering that they also went through a number of changes at the end of last season, with a lot of their quality players leaving, Godin, Griezmann, a real sort of change in, again, personnel with their squad. And I think it's really looking promising for them in the Champions League as well, because they are in it, and I think they can still go ahead and win. In terms of the Liga, I think they sort of played to expectation. As for a team that played below par, or didn't really sort of meet expectations, look, I didn't really have much expectations for Barcelona. Nevertheless, when you have a player like Lionel Messi and a club like Barcelona, you still expect them to do something. And I think, considering that they had top spot, or they were in first position for a while, they should have been able to wrap it up. But look, I think it's, even though they come second, I think it's a case of them. I don't think they've played to second spot, if that makes sense. They've had a lot of sort of issues with Griezmann and sort of being reliant on Messi. So I think Barcelona, in my opinion, haven't sort of done well this season, and they sort of played below standards, in my opinion, because I sort of did expect them to play a little bit better, even though they came second.
Fair enough. John Nati, thank you very much for tuning in, buddy. Says Barcelona is finished in 3 to 4 years' time. And then Hala Madrid says, to win the league with this attack is magic from Zizou. And Hala Madrid is obviously a Madrid fan. From Zizou, our attack is not good enough. Our attack is not good enough or too young. Oh, so essentially what you're saying is that the fact that we won the league with this attack is essentially a miracle, because you feel that our attack, Madrid's attack, is not good enough, or it's relying on young players. That's fair enough. I could just also cement to what LB was saying, in that Real Madrid just have not, Barcelona have just not, caught up to the frame, as it was. And Rasmus says, I saw the highlights, but Barca seemed like a total letdown. Shawnee, what are your thoughts on Liga in terms of expectations met, not met, etc.?
Yep. So once again, I'm not out to defend Barcelona or put Madrid down in any way, but I will say that it's just generally is a letdown, or it's maybe a disappointment if Barcelona don't win the league, because of, once again, their expectations is to win the league every season. Which is kind of the similar thing for Real Madrid, but I suppose the pattern that you see is that Barcelona are kind of the team that's expected to win it. But so in terms of teams that have underperformed, I would say Spain would think that Barcelona underperform if they don't win. But I don't think that's the only place where they have underperformed. I think they've still got a lot of work to do. When's the Champions League starting again?
Friday, actually.
Friday. Okay, so it's up and coming.
Yeah.
I mean, they really need to do well in the Champions League now, and just make sure that they remind their fans and just remind the world that they're a force to be reckoned with. Because if they go out, because they've got Bayern Munich, haven't they?
Yeah.
Barcelona have. So they've
Napoli.
It's Napoli. Yes, yeah.
Napoli. Yeah. Okay. That's different then. If it's against Napoli that they're up against, then really that's a must win. They can't afford to lose that after performing so well, sporadically for them. It's not like if they were a Premiership team and they lost the game in 5, that's actually pretty good. But for Barcelona, that's a nightmare. So underperformed, yeah, absolutely. Barcelona, I think it always is for them if they don't win the league. And it's the same for Real Madrid, but for some reason Real Madrid maybe don't have the same standards in Spain or from the world of winning the league every season. Or that's the way I see it anyway. But I don't know. Like the rest of the La Liga seems fairly okay, because Seville they've been sort of hovering around that kind of position for a few years now, especially Europa. I think they were the first team to win the Europa League 3 times in a row or something, because they beat Liverpool and they got their hat trick. They got like so Seville isn't maybe the biggest shock hovering around that sort of area, and the rest of the table looks fairly okay. So I would say like the biggest shock is Barcelona underperforming, I think, and it's just depending on I don't know. Are they going to be finished in 2 or 3 years' time? I think they're a bit too big to be finished at any stage. So and it would be a real shame, because it's fun to tune into the Liga and watch Barcelona and Real Madrid kind of fight it out with each other. So hopefully we'll still have those battles coming in the future.
Okay, Tom, what are your thoughts on La Liga? So essentially I'm just going around asking people in general, like which of these teams met teams that basically went above their expectations and met expectations and then below expectations. So regarding the Liga, what are your thoughts?
Well, I've looked at the Liga a little bit over the last couple of months and everything. Mainly when the restart happened and everything, because it was just nice to watch a game of football, really. And when I've actually looked at the Spanish league in a bit of depth and everything, I think obviously everybody knows the two major giants in Spanish football, which is Real Madrid and Barcelona, and that's always going to be the rivalry that's going to happen in Spain unless there's a break on the scene from another team. But I think there has been a couple of surprise teams really in La Liga this season. If I'm being honest, I think Getafe have been a very good team, really, very organised and everything. When I've watched them, and I think the Spanish way of playing football really is exciting because of the fact that you're going to be entertained. You can already be told that. I think Real Madrid winning the La Liga, obviously, I think that was personally above expectation, if I'm being honest, because when they was midway through the season, I think they sacked the manager and then they replaced him with Zinedine Zidane. Midway through a season, replacing a club midway through a season and then leading them to a league title is very impressive. And from the position that Real Madrid was actually in, at the time, I think it was very good. I think we such as say Barcelona massively underperformed, massively. I think for me, it's just my opinion. I think they got the manager appointment wrong straight away. The manager was completely wrong. Quique Setien wouldn't be a manager I would go for if I'm honest. You want the best managers out there, really, to manage a club like Barcelona. That's just my opinion. So I think that a club like Barcelona, that's the massive underperformer this season for me. Some players haven't turned up, particularly this season. Players haven't turned up. Griezmann hasn't been amazing. All the hype that was around him when he moved to Barcelona from Atletico Madrid, it's not really paid dividends, really. Messi's been okay in parts of the season. I wouldn't say he's had an overall amazing season. He's been okay in parts. Suarez is on the decline with his age and whatnot, and just some of the players in that team. It's an aging team. It's a team there's a lot of players in there that's won Champions League finals and everything. Busquets is in there, PK's in there. These players have won things 10, nearly 15 years ago. And I think it's a case of the need to recruit younger players. But it's how do you replace such experience and such players who've done so well for that football club? Gerard Piqué has been an amazing servant to Barcelona. It's the same thing with in a couple of years. How do you replace Lionel Messi at Barcelona? How do you replace one of the greatest players to grace the Spanish league? How do you replace that? I think it's personally irreplaceable.
Grace the world.
Yeah, exactly. It's irreplaceable. So when I look at Barcelona, I think they're in a very tough position at the moment. For me, I've said it. I don't know. I've just got this weird feeling about this team. I just think Napoli, they've not had an amazing season in Italy, but I just think that they can pull something out the bag, really. They've got the players that can hurt Barcelona 100%, and they've got a rock at the back in Koulibaly who can keep a player quiet for some time. So personally, I just think Napoli is gonna do Barcelona, and I think that's going to be the head for the manager really. And whoever's out there can take over a club like Barcelona. That's the key to what they're going to have to try and do really. But for me, Real Madrid, I think that for me, in terms of Spanish football, I think this has to be a historic season for Real Madrid. From where they've come midway through the season, playing awful football, the manager was defaulting tactics, everything. And Zinedine Zidane's come in here and he's taken over from the ex-manager, and obviously he's give the players a boost. He's won 3 Champions Leagues with the same players, some of the same players in that team, so he knows the players. And to take them from being, I think there was at one point, there was like 10th place at one point, Real Madrid, that was that bad. To take them from there all the way back to the league title, I think that's massive kudos to Zinedine Zidane and how he's restructured Real Madrid midway through a season, really. So I think Real Madrid are the main show for Spanish football at the moment, and I think they will be for the next couple of years, really, until Barcelona can restructure and buy some younger players, really. But that's just my opinion on things, anyway.
Fair enough. Before I get Jan Van and KSI and final thoughts, I thought it would be just a good thing just to quickly address. Don't bring too long. But Rasmus Day, thanks Rasmus Day for the question. Before I go into the story, just Real Madrid says Barca have been lucky that all of their best players have played for them in the last 15 years, hence domination. But this is the question from Rasmus A, and it's, what do you think about the behavior of Arthur refusing to go back to Barca for these Champions League games and waiting for his move to Juve instead, kind of like what Werner did with Leipzig?
Disgusting. It's a disgrace to football, really. You know, you're contracted to play at that football club until the season ends, so you finish your contract and then you move on. You know, I said the same thing about Timo Werner. Absolutely disgraceful. You know, he's completely, rude the fans, because it's quite clear RB Leipzig's fans and the manager wasn't happy with the decision because he's a key player for them. Arthur's not as a key player as, say, Messi, but he's a player at the end of the day. You know, and he can be selected for the team. He can be selected for the games. So for me, I think it's just a disgrace to that football club and what he's done and everything.
I'm not. I mean, before Alex, I'm sure everyone will agree, but the only thing I would say is that, like, unlike the Werner, it was clear that Werner wanted to leave the club, so I get that. The Arthur situation for me seems a bit more complicated. So in that, like, from what I understand, it seems that because this seemed to be like a forced deal. Because remember we discussed about this whole thing where it seemed that it wasn't so much like, oh, they're doing transfer business, but that Barcelona and Juventus were trying to basically make a bit of money, as opposed to kind of like, oh, Barcelona really wanted to sign Pjanic. It was, well, we don't really want these 2 players. We can kind of make some sort of money. So the impression I get is that Arthur didn't want to leave Barcelona. He's being essentially forced to go to Juventus, basically to make Barcelona the money that they wanted to make because of the whole crisis thing. And then, of course, if you're being forced to leave a club and you're like, okay, fine, I'm going. And then for that club to then say, oh, well, by the way, we want you to sort of play, even though you're not really going to be playing that much. I can understand how that might be perceived as a bit of a kick in the teeth. You know, at least that's my thoughts anyway. But I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, I don't know. You got to maintain, you got to behave and be professional. It just doesn't say good things about you as a professional footballer. You know, there's kids that will be there's football magazines out there that kids are reading because they just love football that much. To see someone behave like a little spoiled brat, to like, oh, I'm just going to get my way. I mean, it's a whole different discussion talking about player power nowadays, because there is such a thing now. I know that term. Yeah, it's only been thrown around over the last sort of five, 6, maybe 7 years, but it's true. There is even the conspiracy theories about Messi being this kind of behind the scenes power at Barcelona is sort of there's a lot more light being shed on that now as well. But at the end of the day, I think players there needs to be more respect for not only the club but all the people involved with them to maintain a professional courtesy, to allow things to work how they normally work. You're faithful to the club that you're contracted with. That's how your work rate produces. You're when in the real world, if you're contracted to a certain company, you wouldn't dare do them dirty because your recommendation then going forward would be hurt. It's
Exactly.
not like that in football because no one cares.
And his reputation.
Yeah, exactly. And
I think in football, I think a lot of footballers are commodities. So yes, they are employers, but they also unlike let's say myself or other people, like they're also products. They're commercial icons. They're sorts of things. They're items that people use and sell to make money on their sort of behalf. So
yeah, but they're servants. You're contracting them to serve your club, and whilst they're under the contract, they can't behave like players are behaving nowadays. I think that's just there needs to be a change.
I think that's the thing. Like Arthur still has a contract at Barcelona, and obviously Arthur clearly wants to stay at Barcelona. So his contract was probably due to 3 or 4. I don't think Arthur wants to leave the club. But from what I can understand from the Arthur situation is that it's like he's obviously being forced to leave, even though he has a contract at Barcelona till 2025. He's been forced to go to Juventus because essentially Barcelona want to make money from this swap deal because of obviously the lack of revenue that's happened due to the pandemic.
Yeah,
like
sure.
You're saying, but it's a difficult situation if you're now being forced out of the club that you had a contract to go to another club so that club can make money from you. That seems to feel like a product. Then like
sure. There is that aspect of it of where, of course, if he's not in your future plans anyway, you want to milk the last cents out of the player that you're selling. There is obviously that aspect of it, and quite rightly so. That is unfortunately how business works. But I'm speaking particularly about players in recent history that have taken advantage of that because they do have that power. So okay, on that occasion, great. Fine. If they want to make a quick buck off someone that's not in their plans anyway, okay, that's business. Fair enough. That's how it goes. But players taking it into their own hands to kind of converge and scheme with their agent to break a move through is unacceptable. And
no player
change.
Yeah, no player is bigger than the football club. That's the way I see it. No player. Doesn't matter how many followers you have on Twitter
that's why Werner's not at Liverpool. Honestly, I reckon that discussion that he had with Klopp sent something in Werner. He was where Klopp was just like, you know what, forget it, buddy.
I mean, like I said, I don't disagree. I just think that when I think that if clubs basically treat players as commodities, they shouldn't then sort of feel affronted when they're also being treated like commodities, if that makes any sense. So if you're going to say, like, because you've got to bear in mind that a lot of these players, they have families, they have children, they've settled down and stuff like that. So if you're going to just say to a player like tomorrow, oh, by the way, you're leaving, you're going, even though you have a contract to stay at a place for 3 or 4 years, then understandably some players go, well, that's why I have an agent, because the agent will have my best interest at heart, because I know that the football club that I'm a part of is not necessarily going to have my best interest at heart, because they're just concerned by making profit and making money, But it is what it is. Right? I disagree to disagree, but I want to just get Jan Benin actually. Jan Benin, just to talk about the Liga. What are your thoughts? So I know you've been waiting for a while. In terms of meeting expectations, clubs not meeting expectations. Real Madrid, Barcelona. What are your thoughts, man? Oh, please be here. Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you, buddy. Go for it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go for it.
it was a disappointing season for us. Expected us to win the league, but
We can hear
Can you
you.
hear me?
Just keep speaking. Yeah, we can hear you. Maybe speak a bit louder.
Yeah, a little bit closer to the mic, please, buddy.
Yep. Go.
Yeah, it was a disappointing season for us. Expected us to win the league, but it wasn't meant to be. Madrid were the bad team there, and yeah, that's been the age. We're trash, and we'll to win next season. Expected Sevilla to at least challenge for that place because they made good signings like Suso from AC Milan, and also expected Real Sociedad to finish at the top 4 based on where they were before the break, and yeah.
Okay, and so Javin, are you a Barcelona fan? Is that correct? Janvan, you Barca? Yeah, but you're Barca fan. You're Barca fan. Yeah, okay. So that makes sense. Okay, so basically, quick question. Oh, a quick question to you, bro. So, do you think that is this a Barcelona team in decline? Do you think you'll be able to come back next season?
Yeah, we're in decline. I don't see it. I think Madrid may do a three-peat, to be honest. Madrid may do a three-peat. Yeah,
right.
Busquets, flipping Piqué. Piqué is overrated, by the way. No, he was only a good player because he was under Puyol. Messi, Suarez, they're under decline, and I don't see us winning the league anytime soon because Santiago is a trash manager.
Right.
We have a trash board.
Fine.
Yeah, and we have to prepare a funeral for Chelsea and HH. Come on Friday when they get lubricated. Bye-bye.
Oh, they will. KSI, I'm just going to get you in before we quickly move on to Serie A. KSI, La Liga season review. Just quick thoughts. KSI, can you hear me? You there? Ooh, no, okay. No one's moving. That's fine. Okay, no worries. Okay. Let's. Oh, sorry. Another question by Rasmus. Just before we went. Do you guys think there's anything to Pochettino taking over from Setien?
No. I'll take this question if that's fine, lads. I don't personally think Pochettino, out of respect for his former club in Espanyol. You know, I think it'd be a good move, yes, because Pochettino's a manager who's in class and in hot property at the moment. But I think they might try and go for him, but I don't think he would go just out of respect for Espanyol.
Fine. Okay. KSI, I think I've got KSI back. KSI, just because we just have to quickly move on. Like La Liga, your thoughts, season review, expectations, no expectations.
If I'm to be honest, I really couldn't care this season about La Liga. I thought this was the worst season they've ever had. Just because there's no Cristiano Ronaldo. When there's no Ronaldo, there's no La Liga. When there's no Messi, there's no La Liga. It's like we need a new rivalry in La Liga, and Messi versus Hazard ain't gonna be that rivalry, bro.
Okay.
You know, Barcelona are one of the teams that I think that underachieved massively. Messi, he's not that player anymore, in my opinion.
Okay.
He's lost the legs. He's not, for me, he's not the guy that can get you single-handedly a Champions League. He's not Cristiano Ronaldo.
Okay.
CR7 for me is better than Messi at the moment, and Messi, I think Messi's done now.
Okay. Well, just so just I know, just someone just focus on the Liga as itself, as opposed to specific players.
Yeah, I mean Real Madrid, I think overachieved because what Tom said earlier. Getafe overachieved, Sevilla overachieved, Athletico underachieved.
Mm-hmm.
That's really it, really.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's my opinion. By the way, I'm probably gonna head off now. So
Okay, no worries.
yeah, I need to just record my video and that. So I might pop in the live chat later, but I don't think so. I'll probably just go to bed, really.
Okay. Well,
thanks for having me on, G.
no problem, buddy. You take care of yourself, buddy. All the best.
Thank you, bro.
All right. Right. Okay. So I'm just gonna unmute everybody. Okay. So we're just gonna quickly move on. Just because we have the Serie A Bunda, and then we're gonna quickly do a Champions League thing. So I'm not gonna take too long on this. So I don't think there's really much to talk about regarding the Serie A, to be honest. Because I want to obviously know everyone's obviously thoughts. Obviously, this is a Serie A table. It's funny because Juventus just won the Serie A by points, even though if anyone watched Serie A, it was clear that Juventus essentially were in control for most of the point because Inter Milan, Atalanta, Lazio, they were kind of bottling it. What's the best thing to say with Serie A? Rather than going through expectations, etc., here's the question. Will any of these teams actually challenge Juventus for the title next season, or will Juventus win 10 in a row? LB, your thoughts?
In my personal opinion, guys, I think no one's stopping Juventus. I think there's a big difference between Juventus and all the other teams in Serie A. Just look at their squad. From top to bottom, they've got quality players, and they've been able to add to their list at the end of last season with obviously Ramsey and Rabiot, and I know it's Ronaldo's second season now, but I mean, look at the picture that you've got in front of on the display. Red Bull. Look at that quality, all the quality players, and who knows if they get Pogba, which obviously I'm hoping that they don't. He's just going to add more quality to the team. So I don't think anyone's stopping them, and I think it's going to be 10 in a row for them come the end of next season.
Oh dear. Serie A, what we're going to do with you. Shawnee, what are your thoughts? Like I said, rather than doing a expectations thing, like, is anyone going to be able to stop Juventus next season?
I mean, not at the moment. I shouldn't think, because it also depends on, like LB was just saying there. You don't know, like, if they're gonna, even if they don't get Pogba, are they looking to get somebody else? And they're just looking to strengthen. Can AC Milan strengthen that much? Inter strengthen that much? I can't see it. Not to that extent. Not to the extent that
AC Milan towards the end of the season looked pretty good. Zlatan Ibrahimovic came back. I think he got them, essentially him and other players got them into the Europa League position. It looked quite strong.
I still think that they'd need to do a lot to get to the standards that I think Juventus are at. I think it's going to be if they get Pogba, which how likely is it that they're going to go for Pogba?
Nah, not this summer.
Not this summer.
No.
I don't think they've got the money.
No.
Okay.
No.
So if it's not going to be this summer, then are they going to look for somebody else? And if they are, they're going to strengthen with that kind of quality. Is AC Milan or Inter Milan, are they going to do the same? Are they going to get to the standards that, or even like in terms of squad depth, and the standards of UA? For me, I think maybe it is going to be 10 in a row. Prove me wrong by all means. Strengthen, get some squad strengthened in that league. Let's see. But they'd have to do quite a lot, I think, to get at the standard that Juve are at the moment.
Okay, fair enough. Also, Rasmus says, "Oh, that's just regarding Pochettino." Hala Madrid said, "Stop saying Sarri ball. It's Sarri. bleep, right? No, there is certainly a lot of. I would not be surprised if Maurizio Sarri got sacked, even though they won the Serie A, because people just don't seem to like this guy for something. They don't like his philosophy. I personally don't think he should be sacked, but there just seems to be a general disdain for Sarri at Juventus around the board. But I mean, go on to Jan Van Man. Jan Van Man, do you think that will anyone stop Juventus next season?
I want to but you too good. And I see Lazio getting replaced by AC Milan at the top 4. And yeah,
Well, you might sort of,
unfortunately,
there's a bit too much static in your mic a bit, mate.
they just bottled.
Sorry, say that again. There was a bit of static in your mic. If you just sort of maybe step back, just say that again.
Okay, I want Inter to win it, but you are just too good. I see them doing 10 in a row, but
Okay.
I just don't see Inter doing it. Like, they have a good squad. Don't get me wrong. It's just like they don't have the winning mentality in them, and you have the experience to they have the experience of winning the Serie A. So yeah, but I see Lazio getting replaced by AC Milan at the top 4. Because like Lazio, this is gonna be their first. Next one's gonna be their first season in the Champions League for a while. I think that's going to take a huge toll in them, and yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Tom, have I asked you? I can't remember.
No, you haven't asked me yet.
Yeah, go for it, Tom.
Right, I'm gonna throw a curveball, and I think there is one team. Yeah, I do. I think Inter Milan, and I'll say this for one reason. I think Antonio Conte is going to be on his way out. I can't see Antonio Conte being at Inter Milan for long. And I know 100% who they replace it with. I'd bet money on it that they go and get Massimiliano Allegri. You know, and I think a manager like Allegri, who's won titles at Juventus and he's an experienced Italian manager, I think he has the tactical know-how. He knows how Juventus play because a lot of the players in that team were played under him, so he knows how a lot of the players function and work. And I think he, as a manager, can easily take a team like Inter Milan to the title. So I think maybe a manager. I think Inter Milan, they have the players because, you know, we look at some of the signings that they've got. You know, I think Lukaku's a decent player for them. Martinez, if they can keep hold of him. And they brought in players like Hakimi, who's excelled in the Bundesliga. So I think it's better.
Okay. No. Okay. Fair enough. So basically, Inter Milan might dethrone Juventus. Fair enough. Just on some quick questions. I think this is a good question actually. Before we move on, how do you rate Zlatan's influence on Milan? Because I think that's a massive.
Yeah.
I don't. If you've watched at least some Serie A football this season, as soon as Zlatan came in January, there were people saying he's going to flop, he's going to fail, he's not going to score more than 8 goals in a Serie A, and he scored 12 goals, and he's shown that he's Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Basically.
People need to stop saying that; it just makes him stronger.
Yeah. And everywhere he's gone, he's scored, you know, goals and everything. You know, PSG, you know. He went to Barcelona and scored goals. Well. Man United, you know, and all these other clubs. So he's gone LA Galaxy. He's scored goals everywhere he's went. So I wouldn't discredit him. He's a player who's definitely going to be one for the history books. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, for sure.
That was also for half a season, by the way.
Exactly,
you know,
that's what I mean.
So it wasn't even a full season. That was just from January. He scored the 12 goals. You know, so anyone have any other thoughts on Zlatan? Essentially, we're saying I get very, very positive. But anyone else have any thoughts on that question?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's an argument not to be positive about him. You know, he doesn't just he's not just a good player himself, but he hypes the players up around him as well, and he adds flair to everybody around him. His style of play and just having him at your club, you know, adds flair to your club and to everybody that's playing on the pitch with him. So I think think it's just testament to who it is that he is. You know, he's got an infectious personality, and he's a really, really quality football player, a real quality football player. So I think I've never written him off like at any stage. I mean, I remember that goal he scored against England, like the overhead kick from like 25 yards away or whatever, you know, and it's just. And he did that at like the age of like 32 or 33 or whatever, you know. So I don't think I've ever written him off at any stage. I always thought that he was a quality player. Yes, he is quite old now. I still think that doesn't really matter in terms of the impact he makes at a club. With just being there, that his name being there, his personality being there, I think it just adds to the club in that sense. And there's not really been anything to show that he's in like rapid decline. There's things that he doesn't do now there's things that he doesn't do now that he was doing when he was younger. But all in all, he knows how to play the game, and the players know that, and he makes the best of it.
Fair enough. He is Ibrahimovic.
Yeah.
Quick. Rasmus says, I really hope next season Atalanta will do the miracle and stop Juve from winning Serie. Yeah, well, they have. I think if we're going to go the expectations through, I think Atalanta, certainly in Serie, I think are a team that have certainly exceeded expectations. And to be honest, if they perform a miracle against PSG in the Champions League, who knows what's going to happen, you know? Although I hate that Ilicic is not going to be involved for various reasons. Hala Madrid also says, Juve won it with 83 points. They won't be this bad next season. Inter missed the trick. And United at the wheel, shout out to you, bro. Hopefully your podcast went well, buddy. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'll be on soon. And Rasmus lastly says, Conte deserves a medal for freeing United from Alexis Sanchez. I couldn't agree more. Penultimately, the Bundesliga, and this is pretty much going to be the same question because it's the same question here. Obviously, Bayern Munich, the Bundesliga resumed before most of the other leagues, and it's finished before most other leagues. Is anyone going to be able to stop Bayern next season? LB?
No, I don't think so. I think it's very sort of clear cut that Bayern Munich will win the next Bundesliga for obviously a number of reasons. I think they've really turned it around ever since Hansi Flick stepped into the position as head coach. I think Lewandowski has continued to perform on a very consistent basis by kicking a number of goals, or many goals, in the Bundesliga and obviously the Champions League. And like what I think Tom was saying earlier, with Barcelona having a very sort of aging squad, I reckon that was the issue that Bayern Munich have had, but they've really able to turn it around in the last 1.5-2 seasons, and by getting quality or number of quality young players, Alphonso Davies, Gnabry, and now Sane. So it's looking pretty scary to think of the possibility or the high chance of Bayern Munich winning the next few Bundesliga titles, and not really being able to see any team who can challenge them. So I think it's almost a certainty at this stage.
Fair enough. Shawnee, what are your thoughts about it? Will anyone challenge Bayern next season?
Stop selling your players to them, and you might have a chance. But yeah, it's not at the moment. No, like I say, if teams like Dortmund, who are a really good footballing club, do keep selling them their players, then of course not. So I think the Bundesliga haven't learned yet to do that. If you want to stand a chance in winning the Bundesliga, then you have to be disciplined in keeping the players that you have at the club, and making a go of it. But I don't see any signs of that at the minute. So it looks like Bayern Munich are only strengthening. Other teams are getting weaker. So it's just going to be farmland for the Bundesliga and Bayern Munich snapping up all the good youngsters. So I don't think there's going to be a change next season.
Fair enough. So I don't think anyone is giving any hope or confidence in Dortmund or Leverkusen or anything like that. Janovan, can anyone dethrone Bayern Munich, buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I think they may go undefeated based on how many players. Yeah. Because Dortmund lost Sancho, Leverkusen are going to lose Havertz, and Leipzig just lost Werner. So I don't see any of those teams challenging Bayern whatsoever. And like any and other teams at the apart from Leverkusen, Leipzig, Dortmund, like they're irrelevant. So I just don't see anyone dethrone them. They may do 10 in a row. Just saying.
Oh, dear. Tom, any optimism? You threw a spanner in the works last time. Do you throw a spanner in the works again and say that there's potentially a chance?
Nah. The spanner's chucked in the garbage. Garbage truck now, to be honest with you. Like I say, no managerial point. You know, you can text your Pep Guardiola back over there to manage Dortmund. I still think Bayern Munich would win it, to be honest with you. Run away with the league really over the last, I don't know how many years, to be honest. It's becoming a bit of a joke. You know, it's a bit like the Dutch league. Really, has always seem to win that every year. You know, it's kind of similar with the German league. Really, you know, Bayern Munich, the heavyweight that they are at the moment, and I completely agree with Shawnee's point. Stop selling your best players, and then you'll have a chance. You know, it looks as if Bayer Leverkusen are going to lose Kai Havertz. That's their star player. You know, gone. You know, so Bayer Leverkusen are out of the race. Leipzig have just lost Werner. Leipzig are out of the race now for me. You know, Dortmund look as if they're going to lose Jadon Sancho, which is a massive bonus for myself and you, obviously, G. But yeah, just on the topic of German football, Dortmund are declining. You know, yeah, they're bringing in players like Jude Bellingham and everything, 18 years old and that, but I don't think they haven't got that winning mentality. They've not won the league in I don't know how long. They've not won a trophy in I don't know how long. And when you haven't got that mentality of, oh, well, we've just won something last season, let's go and do it again. And then let's do it good again and again. They haven't got that mentality, whereas Bayern Munich have. And like people have alluded to about Bayern Munich, you know, I think Bayern Munich is the prime example of what, say, Barcelona needed to do. What they need to do now, like I said, they need to recruit younger players, buy younger players. You know, Gnabry has obviously been brought in. Sane's there, you know, they've got Alphonso Davies, you know, they've brought in younger players to take over from some of maybe the old dogs, you know, that's left the club, you know, such as Robben, Ribéry. They've been replaced now. And they've got a prime striker in Lewandowski who's just going to get better and better. You know, they've got a midfielder in Thiago. For me, I rate him very highly. You know, I can't see this Bayern Munich team budging anywhere, to be honest with you. You know, I just think, you know, like Gavin's just said, you know, might be 10 years that they go and run away with it, to be honest with you, because nobody seems like they're stopping them at the moment.
Fair enough.
Shawnee might be able to... Sorry, Red Devil.
Oh, LB, have you given your thoughts, haven't you?
No, I have. I was just wondering, now that Tom's mentioned Thiago, Shawnee might be able to shed some more light on whether Thiago will be going to Liverpool or not, or whether that's just a rumour, or...
I think at the moment it's just a rumour. I know that, like, at the moment, Klopp is just... I know that he really, really loves the team that we have right now. And yes, you can tell that he knows that we need to strengthen because, you know, you always do. Because there's players getting older. You don't know what's happening with Salah. You know, because there's rumours about him maybe leaving, and then that, you know, calls for someone to be replaced there. So I'm sure Klopp's always on the lookout, but he does love this team, and he's very careful about who he's picking. I personally believe the reason why Werner didn't come was because when they met, there was something not right about Werner's attitude, or, you know, there was just something not right. There was like personality clash, maybe, I don't know. So if Thiago, it seems like a personal interview with each individual player that Klopp's doing, and he does seem like a really nice, genuine lad, Thiago. So if Klopp's serious about it, I don't see why he wouldn't want to come to Liverpool. Champions of England.
Your board spend. That's the key thing. That's the key thing. So
Well,
maybe,
but he's not going to cost. He's not going to cost a shed load, really, though, is it?
yeah, he shouldn't. I don't think he's going to be like as much as like Sancho or
Oh no,
like that.
I think he's going to be like 30 million or something, mate.
Yeah. So I think if the club has to let Klopp do something. I mean, we've just won the Premiership, and if we're looking to do better next season and have retain the Premiership and do well in another competition, like in another cup competition somewhere, then we need a little more depth than what we have now, because that's still something City have had or had more of. Because I mean, City had Sane sitting on the bench.
Touching on depth, obviously. With Lallana, you've lost a midfielder with Lallana there, obviously. So you might need to replace him with another player, obviously. And Thiago's a midfielder, so it would obviously suit the ship, really.
That's it, exactly. So, and Thiago, he's a really, really brilliant player, and he's a good lad. So if they're at the moment, yes, they are rumours. They're really nice rumours, though. So it would be nice if. So. I really hope something comes of it. Same as Havertz. There's still whispers around about him maybe coming over to the Reds. So we'll just see what happens. I'm sure Liverpool's not dumb. Like I think they are working behind the scenes to get moves coming through. So let's just see what happens. But yeah, at the moment there's nothing above just paper talk.
Okay, fair enough. Just before I get so just a few comments. Shout out to Average Joe. It's been a long time. Thank you so much for going back, buddy. Hope you're doing well. It's good. It's good to see you back. So thank you very much. Get you more questions in. Really appreciate it. Rasmus A. Just before we move on to our Champions League review, and that'll be the last topic. We're just going to preview the games, essentially the remaining last of 16 games this week. Rasmus A says, just to the panel, do you think Juve can turn around? Well, okay, so we're going to get to that. Actually, 2 seconds. Let's go nicely on to our Champions League preview section. Here we are. And I'll just get the Champions League things up here. There should be it here. Right, can everyone see that?
Yep,
everyone's going to see that. Cool. Okay. So, what I would really want to focus on is basically this week. So, because the quarterfinals are going to be, and we'll talk about that next Monday. So, really, it's Friday and Saturday this week are remaining games of the last 16 that have yet to be played. Obviously, Atletico Madrid are through, having beaten Liverpool, and Paris are through, Leipzig are through, and Atalanta are through. So those guys are already through. So these are the outstanding games. Juventus versus Lyon, City versus Real Madrid on Friday, Bayern, Chelsea, Barcelona, Napoli. So I'm going to start with, so I just want to literally I'm going to go through those 4 games and just a quick score prediction and literally just a briefing as to why you think that sort of team will win. So start off first with Juventus versus Lyon. I'll start with LB. Obviously, it's 1-1. I think it's 1-1 or is it 1-0 to Lyon actually?
1-0 to Lyon.
1-0 to Lyon. So yes, absolutely right. I'll score that up actually. Yeah, it's 1-0 to Lyon. Do you think that Juventus can pull this around? What is your score prediction? What do you think, LB?
Yeah, look. Do you know where this game is going to be played?
It's going to be played. Yeah. So it's over in Italy. Yeah.
Oh, in Italy. So it's in Juventus Stadium. It's in Allianz Stadium. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I was going to say Juventus, but I think for sure now that I've found out that they are playing at the Allianz Stadium, it's going to be Juventus. 1-0 deficit going back home the second leg. We know how much of an advantage that is to play the second leg at home in the Champions League. And even though there won't be any crowds there, I still think that, especially after winning the Serie A title, Juventus are going to be able to beat Lyon at home. So score prediction, I'll probably say 3-1 to Juventus.
Okay. Sean,
3-1. I'll go through. Yeah.
3-1 to go through. Okay. Shawnee, score prediction.
Like Juventus, they definitely have a good amount of momentum just winning the title, so they're going to be brimming with confidence. So that's actually a good bet. Like 3-1 is a good shout. I might go with LB on this one.
Hala Madrid says Juve to win 2-1, but Lyon to go through on away goals. That's interesting. They might win it. They might win the game. Will they be able to stop Lyon from scoring, given that the likes of Memphis Depay is going to...
Moussa Dembele.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Yeah, because they could win on the night, but if Lyon do get the away goal, they'll still get... Yeah, okay. Danvan, what are your thoughts? Juventus Lyon score prediction.
Yeah,
John Van,
we're not gonna have Juventus to fight back. He has 5 goals in the Champions League this season, and I expect Juve to score at least 3 goals. But it's gonna be 3-2 Lyon. Memphis breaks and Lyon goes through on away goals.
You think Lyon? So you think Lyon will go through on away goals? Well, Jonas, do you think Lyon will go through on away goals?
Ronaldo penalty. Excuse me.
I was just saying. So you think that Lyon will go through on away goals?
Hello?
That's my question. We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah, you have just been. Huh? No, it's just you have just been. They've been playing pragmatic football this season.
Okay.
I just don't see them. Even if they make the course, I just don't see them reaching series. So like, Lyon are gonna win on away goals, and they'll be facing City in the quarters.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Rasmus A says Lyon to go through 1-1. Okay, fair enough. And obviously, Abbott says Memphis back. I remember. Fair enough. Has everyone given their score prediction for that game? Tom, did you?
I haven't given one.
Tom, yes. Sorry, go on.
I think LB hit on the nail. With it being played in Italy, there's no fans, but obviously, on Champions League games, players come alive. It's the big occasion. Ronaldo will be in full swing. It's just I can see Juventus just whitewashing Lyon. To be honest, Lyon haven't played a professional game of football for a long time. They're not as fresh as people think. So I don't really get why there's all this vote of confidence for Lyon. To be honest with you, they've not played. The French league got cancelled ages ago. They've not even played like a proper game. So I wouldn't really have this vote of confidence for them. To be honest with you, so I'm gonna go for a. I'm gonna go for a 4-0 whitewash. To be honest with you, Juventus.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Well, obviously, we'll be reviewing these things. These results come next Monday, when obviously the results will be in. So quickly moving on to the next game of that, and that is and that will obviously be Man City Real Madrid. Obviously, this is going to be playing at the Etihad Stadium. Man City have got 2 away goals. They won 2-1 in obviously the Bernabeu in Spain. Who goes through here? Score predictions. Back to LB.
I've been saying since the first leg that Man City is going to win. It's their time to go to the next stage of the Champions League, and I'm going to stick with that. I think Man City will win 3 goals to actually 3-0. Even though Real Madrid have won the La Liga title, I still think Man City will. And especially with the lead that they have going into this game, I think it's an advantage. 2 away goals. It's just, you can't get better than that. So I think Man City to beat Real Madrid 3-0.
Okay, Fair enough. Shawnee, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, similar. So, like, yeah, it is Man City that have the upper hand, isn't it, at the moment?
Yep.
Yeah. So, I I think Man City, especially because Pep Guardiola, he knows how to play against the Spanish teams. So if they do lose it, it's just going to be like a massive, like, I mean, really, you'd be looking to, if Pep Guardiola lost the league by that many points to Liverpool, really didn't have a good season in the league, and then goes out with having a 2-0 away goal advantage to Real Madrid, I think that would just be absolutely disastrous. I think City have to win it, and City do have the momentum in the league right now. Everyone is back in the full swing of things. Mahrez, Sterling, even David Silva is just absolutely smashing it right now. So I'll also go with City. It might be quite edgy. I'll go with 2-0. I think Man City will have the 1-0 lead for predominantly throughout the game, and then maybe grab a last minute goal towards the end. Bit of a nail biter.
Okay, fair enough. Tom, your thoughts?
Well, I just think this game's got the paint of it to be, very, very exciting, very high octane football. I think with obviously Pep Guardiola being Spanish, he's managed in the Spanish league. He knows how Spanish teams play. It's basically have three little midfielders in the middle and create your chances from there. Really, that's the Spanish way of playing football. Really, and I think, given that tactic, I do think Real Madrid are going to score. And I'm going to go for a very high scoring game because Manchester City, where they've had a lot of high scoring games, where they beat Liverpool 4-0. That's not an easy thing. I don't think a team's done that for a long time. Got to put 4 goals past, the European champions and now the Premier League champions. That's an achievement in its own right.
Also, no Sergio Ramos, by the way. People need to remember that Madrid will not have Sergio Ramos in this game because he's suspended.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I don't necessarily think Real Madrid will win the game. I'm gonna go for a bit of a weird one. I'm gonna go for a 4-3 Man City.
Oh, so okay, yeah. So then that means that Man City will still win by a goal. So it'll be 5.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay, I'm with you. Okay, fair enough. Just before I get to Jan Van, just a few comments. Hala Madrid says, I'm in a good mood, so I say 3-2 to Madrid, and we go through on away goals. Fair enough. Although you all will be right for Sergio Ramos. Rasmus says, Guardiola did get battered by Rio as Bayern manager. That he did. Average Joe says, City will be hungry, however. Jan Van, your thoughts on the Real Madrid Man City game? Who goes through?
Yep. Man City will go through 4-2. I think okay. Ramos will be missing. Their best player this season, apart from Benzema. Man City too much in the attack. Sterling will get a brace. De Bruyne and Gabriel Jesus and Benzema will get he will score a header and then a Varane goal, and that's 4-2. Man City just too good at home.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so it looks like everyone seems to be giving City the edge here, and Real Madrid are probably going to be out at the round of 16, which is interesting because everyone says that Real Madrid are having a fantastic season, and yes, I agree that them winning the La Liga is good, but I mean, is it really a fantastic season if you win the Liga but get knocked out to the round of 16? I'm not entirely sure. Kieran from Red Devil Weekly, shout out to you, buddy. Bayern are the best team in the comp, but knockouts. Knockout competitions, they've got good individual moments, so you never know. Yeah, that's a fair point, Kieran. It is based on individual moments. You never know if Messi steps up, for example, Barcelona, or if Benzema steps up for Real Madrid. You just never know. And Hala Madrid, before I go on to the next, says Pep lost 3 years in a row to Spanish team. That he did. Has Pep ever actually won while not managing Barcelona? Has he
Yeah.
actually beaten
He beat Barcelona 3-1 a couple of years ago.
Was that with Bayern Munich? Was it?
No, that was with Man City.
Also, City, yes, at home.
Yes,
At
but
home.
that was in the
group
league
stage.
That was in the group stage. In the group stage. Okay, fair enough. Okay. Third game. Bayern versus Chelsea. Oh, I'm sorry. Before I go to Red Devil Weekly's page and subscribe to the brother, by the way, guys. A lot of good content to Red Devil Weekly. So shout out to Red Devil Weekly. Please go to his page and subscribe to him. Really appreciate it. Third team, Bayern versus Chelsea. This is obviously 3-0 to Bayern right now and in Stamford Bridge. Does anyone give Chelsea at all? I know my friend HH has gone to pray basically for a miracle, an intense miracle, I might add. But given Chelsea's performance in the FA Cup, it's probably not going to happen.
She was praying. She was praying for a result at Liverpool as well. It just didn't quite come through. Who's she praying to?
Offside, yeah. It's for it's about the same God you're praying to, but I'm told that God could only answer one particular person. It seems. So in this instance, it was Liverpool, and in this instance, it's going to be Bayern. LB, do you think that Chelsea have a shot here? What's your score prediction, buddy?
I'd say my score prediction would be 3-1. I think it will be a reasonably close game for the second leg with that scoreline. But in terms of the whole tie, it's going to be 6-1 on aggregates. So it's going to be quite ugly. But I think Chelsea will hopefully, for all Chelsea supporters' sakes, will stay the game. But I think it will be a blowout. So I think 3-1. Bayern Munich going through, so I don't really give Chelsea a chance. And again, it's football and miracles can happen, but I'm not holding my breath.
Shawnee, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't see anything else apart from a Bayern go through. I think even if Chelsea put up a fight and they play really well on the night, I don't see Bayern, losing to Chelsea like 4-0. So I don't know. Like just for me, I think Chelsea will give it a go. They have to because losing the FA Cup final now, it's still making it to the final. I think they just have to at least make their fans proud. The fans are going to be traveling over to Germany. It is in Germany, isn't it? It's at the Bayern's ground. Yeah,
it is.
Oh my goodness, that's tough.
That's the question. Do you think the Bayern are going to do what they did to Arsenal not that long ago, where essentially they just, not just Arsenal, but even this season against Spurs, when they essentially scored 5-6 goals past them, and Lewandowski was like, "That's just what I do." Do you think that this could potentially be something very scary? Is what I'm trying to say.
It could be like I say. I mean, Chelsea have showed a lot of potential there. It's not like they're a bad team. It's just that I think Bayern Munich they've showed a lot more steadiness and consistency throughout the season, and I think that's Bayern will just have too much for them. Had too much for them at Stamford Bridge, and they're going to have too much for them at home as well. So I don't know. I don't know. Bayern can literally turn up and not have a good day and still go through, I think.
Fair enough. Before I move on, actually, by the way, I want to also plug out my Shawnee, who's just obviously spoke his channel. It's Famicio channel. It's a gaming stream. Does a lot of good content there. I've just posted a link in the chat, guys. So for everyone who's watching, please head over to Famicio's channel, subscribe to him, show him your love, support the guy. And he posts a lot of good stuff, and he's been a core member of this podcast for quite some time. So for those who are watching, please head over to his channel and show him some love. And the link is in the description, but it's also in the comment section as well. So
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Oman G. It's very kind of you guys.
No, always good to support everyone and support their channels as well. So if you guys are listening, please head over. We'd really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Who is next? Tom, I think. Tom?
Yeah, I'll go next if you want to.
Yeah, can Chelsea do this?
Can Chelsea do this?
Yes.
There's two letters to that. NL, and that spells no.
Right.
Not a hope in hell. I don't care. I'll bet grands. I'll bet anything. You know, I'd wear a Chelsea shirt and I'd jump up and down all night if they do it, because it's not going to happen. No, I don't care what HH says. We can spin his crap about. Or we're gonna do a Liverpool. You know, it happened against Barcelona. It's not going to happen. You know, 3-0. You've got to go to Bayern Munich, who I think they've lost probably once at home all season, and that's in every competition. You know, and you've got to score 4 goals, and they've not got to score 1. And Lewandowski's scored how many goals this season? You know, and we've just talked about what happened against Tottenham. Tottenham had a good team out that night as well. They had all the best players, Kane, Son, you know, they had all the best players. And they still got battered. And it wasn't as if it was a tactical masterclass. They just didn't turn up. Chelsea are without Pulisic as well. Pulisic's been a major player to their turnaround and their reinvigoration, if you like to say, at Chelsea. You know, and he's not going to be playing. You know, maybe if they had, say, Ziyech and Werner in the team, maybe there might be something happen. But I can't see Giroud doing anything, to be honest with you. You know, I can't see any magic from anybody in that team. And like you've just alluded to earlier about what happened with Arsenal, I'm actually going to go with the Arsenal scoreline. I'm going to go for a 5-1. I just think, Bayern Munich. I just think I'm just going to wipe the floor of them. And I know I'm going for a lot of ambitious scores here, but some of these teams haven't played for a while, and it's the big occasion, it's the big competition. Everybody wants to win it, and you know, maybe if Chelsea went 3-0 down, you might be in the conversation. You know, but I think just Lewandowski's firing at the moment. Gnabry's been exceptional. You know, we've just spoke about Thiago, what a key player he is in that team. You know, Alphonso Davies. So, you know, it's gonna be some sort of miracle. And you know, HH man, you know, you're gonna have to be praying to the gods, you know, for the foreseeable future if you want that to happen. Seriously, that's all I'm gonna say. You can message me or do whatever if it comes true or whatever, but it's not gonna happen. Not in a million years. 5
It was funny it was funny what you did the other day on the weekend at Red Devil. You're playing a video from the archives.
I watched that as well.
Yes, I reminded him of his. I collect some receipts every time he banters me when Manchester United lose. So I say, "Oh, that's fine. You just keep on speaking. I'll just wait for my opportunity, and then opportunity presents itself." So I have a lot more receipts. More seats come. Well, it's always on Saturday as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
Hey, Kate, we're coming for you, man. We're coming for you.
Jonathan, bro. Do you think that Chelsea have a chance, brother? Do you think you have a chance? Oh, Jan Van, you there?
Chelsea
Yes,
4, Bayern 1. Tammy Abraham had to get the bridge. Yeah.
Wait, do you say Chelsea 4, Bayern 1? Did you just say Chelsea 4, Bayern 1?
Tammy Abraham had to get the bridge. I'm joking, chill. I'm joking.
Yeah. What?
HH's prayers have been answered.
I'm joking.
Oh man, I was gonna say, is he? What's happening? Okay, yeah. Sorry, say that one more time. Sorry, but I just didn't hear that.
Lewandowski hat trick. Gnabry brace.
Ooh, 5.
Lewandowski hat-trick, Gnabry brace. Just don't see
No.
Chelsea getting a goal.
Ooh, 5-0 then.
So basically 8-0 on aggregate. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
No chance for
Just
no chance.
we have to prepare for Europe.
Prepare the funeral.
There's going to be a lot of if Chelsea get absolute hammering. There's going to be a lot of.
We need to play that meme. You know the where the it's then African men carrying the coffin.
Oh yeah.
Mate, he needs to. I think he might cancel the stream. You know.
Yeah.
Cancel this stream. You know, I've gone on vacation for a week.
If they would somehow win, then fair enough. If they might not still get through, but if they like draw or win, then I think a bit of respect. But I don't think that's going to happen.
No. Let's stop talking about it. It's not going to happen. I'm done with all this. You know, wage me on it or whatever. I don't care. It's not going to happen.
Last prediction before we end the stream, guys, and thank you guys all who are there still listening and watching. And this, I guess, is an interesting one. Barcelona versus Napoli. Barcelona versus Napoli. Now, from what I'm aware, this is the one that's actually 1-1, if I recall. Yeah, 1-1 Barcelona versus Napoli.
Wait, who got sent off for Barcelona, by the way?
Let me just double check.
Because then that player would be suspended, obviously.
Who was there?
Vidal.
Arturo Vidal. Yeah. Okay.
Arturo Vidal got sent off.
Fine. Okay. Yeah, that was a bit. That's probably a bit big loss. So, going back to LB. This is obviously happening at the Camp Nou, and Barcelona, as we know, are very strong at the Camp Nou. It's obviously 1-1. So Barcelona have the away goal. You see Barcelona, despite their season, finishing Napoli off?
Despite their season, I think they should be able to take care of Napoli. I mean, the Nou Camp has been their get out of jail card for the last 2-3 seasons when they've been sort of slowly going downhill. And I think it's going to save them again being able to play not in front of their fans, but at least on home soil where they are so familiar and play so well. So I think they should be able to take care of Napoli in terms of an overall scoreline. Quite similar to the previous scorelines I've given. I think it'll be 3-1 to Barcelona.
Ooh.
Okay,
I think it'll be a close game on aggregate, but yeah, 3-1.
Okay, Shawnee, your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, similar. Like I think like Barcelona, once again they gotta come out all guns blazing because they gotta, if they've just lost the title in the way that they have, then they're gonna have to come out just guns blazing and make sure that they beat Napoli and get through to the next stages. So I think. I think Barcelona will win. Maybe Napoli will get a goal, so I'll maybe say 2-1.
2-1. Okay. Oh wait, so if they. Oh no, yeah. So it's 1-1. Yeah, that's still.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay, Tom, thoughts?
I said it earlier. Did I not about Barcelona? For me, they completely capitulated. It's rotten from the core, from top to bottom, as Javan alluded to earlier about the boards. Exactly the same with the president. We his comments about Real Madrid. That wouldn't have helped with the team's mentality, really. Exactly the same with, star players like Messi have underperformed. Well, they've not performed to the level of you would expect for a player who's winning the Ballon d'Or every year in, year out. Exactly the same with a couple of players that haven't turned up, like I said about Suarez and Griezmann. So I think, the problems lie from on the pitch to upstairs, really, at Barcelona. And I think, like I said before, I'm calling it now. I think the manager's going after this game because he's going to lose. The fans are in the stadium. Barcelona win the game. That's just my opinion because the fans rally on this team massively, and I think Barcelona rely on the support of the fans because of the noise and the hostility it brings to the opposing team. Napoli have something to play for because it's a competition that they might not necessarily win it, but the further you go in it, the further financial gain you get. So Napoli, for me, win this game 1-0. I just think something as just potent as like a Koulibaly header from a corner or a set piece or something just as silly as that. Because I don't think Barcelona have the bottle anymore. Because I think this manager sucked it out of the players. I think the players are starting to revolt against him, such as Messi. And like we alluded to earlier about players have this figurehead in the dressing room. You know, Messi's got this figurehead in the dressing room. You know, they're the wrong kind of people you want at your football club. Yeah, Messi's a world star, but you know, come on. You know, you don't want all these big heads. And suddenly, when one player turns against the manager, the whole dressing room does. And I think that's what's happened at Barcelona. And I think over the last couple of years, they've not recruited the right players and everything, and it's going to cost them, massively going to cost them. So I think Napoli win the game 1-0, and I think the manager gets sacked straight after it in the next following days.
Fair enough. Okay. League. Like that bid, as Average Joe says. Jan Van. Final thoughts. Who goes through? Barcelona or Napoli? Score prediction, buddy.
We've been crap this season. I won't be surprised if we actually lose, but it's gonna be a 3-1 win for us. Messi, Suarez, and Griezmann will get the goals. Yeah, Napoli, a great get consolation at the 90th minute. Koulibaly header, and that's it. Yeah, we're at home. We're just a better, we're a better squad and a better side than Napoli. I just don't see them winning.
So is that so? Just
we're getting straight back, so.
So from what I heard, sorry, just a bit quiet there, buddy. Were you saying a draw?
No, 3-1 win for us. Messi, Suarez, and Griezmann.
Fine. Okay. Fine. Okay. So like a 3-1 win to Barcelona. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Fair enough. Oh, Tom's thanks everyone, but I've got to go, guys. I'll see you guys later. Fair enough, Tom. We're wrapping up shop here anyway. So we're pretty much done. Thank you guys so much, everybody, for getting involved. Thank you for Tom, who's obviously just left, Shawnee, LB, and Jan Van. I know it's been on for some time. Stay tuned. We'll be back next Monday when we'll be reviewing these scores, but also previewing the upcoming Champions League fixtures. Take care, everyone. Thank you everyone for everyone's been involved in the chat. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Shout out to Rasmus A, Average Joe, Hala Madrid, and everyone else who's been persistently watching. Really, really appreciate your ongoing support. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much, guys.